In this video, I'll show you a client onboarding process that does client onboarding automatically in make.com. It's a very simple process by using modules that literally everyone uses already. So let's get into the video. And here is the simple automation that's like welcome, like onboards your clients for you. You only have to do one thing, which is a manual entry of the client details. And basically, watching for client roles, basically watch for a new client, doing a lookup for the resources that you have for the service type, industry, or whatever that you need. Email template lookup and timeout, drafting the email and update the client roles, update on body stage. So this is gonna be the most important like part of this automation because you're gonna rely on this part, this file a lot in the automation. It's an Excel Google Sheet, I mean, and you need this because this basically where you're going to enter your new client. You have a client that you're talking to, and you're on a Zoom call. You just ask them for, oh, you know their name already, the client name. You ask them for the email, which you probably already have, the service type you are offering to them as a business, tech industry, company size. And the thing is that since the company size is going to be like almost the same for all the companies, what you can do is like set this column right here to a drop down, and new clients are going to start from E2 because E1 is an heading. So you start from E2 and drop down from a range, and the range is going to be from option sheet right here. It's going to be from option sheet, and that's going to be this three. So you don't have to manually like enter like details every time. So you can just like click from a drop down basically, and just click done. Let's go to a new, as you can see, now it's a drop down. So whenever you're entering a new client, you don't have to like type in, and it reduces like the risk of mistakes. So yeah, I've said large here instead of enterprise. So really, yeah, as you can see, mistakes again, large here also instead of enterprise. Again, this is your when you enter a new client. Your resource library is where you do a lookup, where you match like the services, industry, company size, and onboarding stage, where you match them all together and just say, and just like get the file link connected to them and the email template connected to them. So this email template, you also use it to do a lookup for, you also use it to do a lookup for, guess what, your email template right here, which is where your email template will be your subject and your body text. That's it. And your delay, this will come in handy later on. And yeah, that's it. You're just basically doing a lookup and a look. This is like a database. So yeah, this is very important because you need to get this right so that the other parts of the workflow will work. So what I'm doing here is watching for a new client. The name of the file is onboarding client workflow. I already connected my Google Sheets to it. And the sheet name is new client. And yeah, that's it. Watching for a new row, basically. I think you can add a filter where you watch for a new row only when the onboarding stage is stage 1 or stage 2. I think you can do that. I'm not really sure. But the idea remains the same. And I just want to get the idea across. So watch for a new client and do a resource lookup. So once you get the new clients, which can be one or two, what this will do is like like it will pass on the information to the resource to this next workflow, which is basically looking up information from the previous like new client. Let's say you have a new client, Horizon Group, email. The service you're offering them is like software. They're in the hospitality industry. They're a medium-sized company, and they're in the stage 1 of the onboarding stage. So now in the resource library, you do a lookup where you, you check for the service type you're offering, the industry you're offering, the industry like the business you're offering the service to is in, the company size of the business, and the onboarding stage they are in. Again, this is most likely like going to be dependent on what you are doing as a business. So it really doesn't matter. And you can see here, but make sure like the service type equals to the service type. Industry, we're basically matching like all these criteria so that we get the particular file link for or the resource link so that we can attach it to an email or maybe upload it to, send it to them basically. And the reason why is like most likely for each and every one of these like tech industry company sites and onboarding stage, you probably have a resource that you normally use. So you don't have to like manually start looking for it anymore. You just have a database that has all these things. And the reason why this is the reason why like this like the way you set up this Excel is important. And then you have the email template right here, which basically contains like a lookup, like a what do you call it in database? Like a key to like email template where you can also do a lookup right here. This is basically the same thing. So email templates, the template name here should be yeah, right here. So now yeah, like not that you've matched the resources to a particular file or a particular role in Google Sheets, which also has access to a file link. Then you do an email template lookup, which basically does what it says it does. So from the previous resource lookup, you already have um you already have the resource there, the access to the resource link. If everything matches that, that is, let's say you don't have it, that's gonna give an error, which is not gonna run. But you can do like I'm going to show you something later on that fixes that. So we have an onboarding email template, and so we have an onboarding client workflow, which is the spreadsheet name. The sheet name is email template right here, like email template right here, and then you make sure like the template name is equal to the email template that we received from the resource lookup. As you can see, the name of the module name and the resource lookup, which is um, email template. That is the name of the That's the name of this role because you're matching this email template role to like template name. They have to be the same so that we can access the subject, body text, and the delays that we need. So template name, which is from the email template name right here, must be equal to the email template from the previous lookup that we did. And yeah, so once we like make sure like we have the same rows matching, the timeout, this is where the delay is coming, the delays from the email templates. As you can see, we have delays here. Normally it's going to be days. So in how many seconds are in a days? Seconds in a day. In 6,400 seconds, okay? So we can basically do this times it's 6,400. But that means this will be running forever. So because it doesn't, maybe we have like 1 day or 0 days. Let's say 0 days, right? So that's 0 times this. It doesn't take any time. But let's say we have 3 now. That's like 3 days. So this thing is gonna be running for 3 days. And because like the delay tool in make.com, oh, must be a number between 1 and 300. So actually that won't even work. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense than like making sure it runs every. Yeah, that makes sense. But you get the point. Maybe we can even make this to seconds, 20, 40, 70, doesn't matter. And then you save. And then you draft an email with the same, let's say, that's my Gmail. Let me go to my email and change to, this is the email we're going to be using. So we basically drafted an email. The email address we're sending to is, guess what? From the new client email. We already have access to it in our previous modules. The subject is going to be, guess what? Let's go to our um, email templates. This is going to be our subject, which is welcome to, let's change this to welcome to the name of our company, BNB. Yeah, Button Bytes. That's the name of my automation agency that I have 0 clients. But that's by default. We have a subject, content type is plain text, and as you can see, client name, which is a client name, yeah. Or maybe you can have a different role that actually has the full name of the person you're talking to on the other end of the clients, or on the other end of the business they're providing the service to. So maybe that can actually be helpful so that the email can be much more, can have a bit much more um, personalization to it instead of like addressing the whole business as a whole organization. So welcome to Button Bytes. We're excited to work with you. And the body text is gonna be email template right here, the body text. And based on your industry, company size, like again, company size is small, right? And I guess, and the company size, you can see what we used here. We used like literally enterprise, medium, and small. What we can also do is like use ranges, which is maybe 0 to 10, 5 to 10. That would be much more better in an email rather than saying your small business, your medium business. Or maybe you can actually use abbreviations, SMEs or large enterprise, just be creative with it. And because adding like your company size, which is small, is not gonna like the obviously you're a small business, but telling the person that is providing you service and saying that you're a small business, you're gonna be like, no, what's happening here? So, and we have prepared some resources that will be particularly helpful. Resource name, resource type, which is from right here, resource type is the PDF and the resource name. It just like showing the client like this is what the file is gonna contain, and then the resource link to the file link. Make sure like the link is publicly accessible. It can be any link, any link. It can be a link to a website, to a link to a website that has the information that the client needs, and then in the website you can have a PDF that the client can download. So many different ways you can actually do this. So it really doesn't matter. And yeah, this is just an email that just says, hey, welcome, and schedule a call if you have any questions. This is a fake, as you can see, a fake realcalendarBookingLink.com. That's not real. I just made that up. And then finally, you update the stage. You update like the onboarding client workflow, the name of and you update like the stage, onboarding stage to, guess what? Stage two. Stage two. And then maybe you can add stage two workflow sequence, which is for, another welcome sequence. And then the status will be to welcome sent, which is status here. Instead of saying new, it's gonna be like welcome. You're gonna now be welcome, welcome sent. So I'm gonna run this and it's gonna work because I haven't run it before, but that's how confident I am it's gonna work. So we have the ref. Okay, actually we actually need to, funny enough, we actually need to like watch for a new we actually need to watch for a new role first before we wait. Let me go back. Let me save this. And because sometimes like it doesn't update, so I'll just like refresh. I'll just refresh this. Make sure like the resource sets sent. It's gonna be, let's say, new clients. Sorry, this is my OBS. I keep like instead of changing tab, I keep like changing my. So it's gonna be resources sent. It's gonna be resources sent plus one. So that's basically like updating the number of resources we have sent to our clients because resources sent is automatically 0, right? So we're gonna like update it to 1, 2, depending on how many resources we send. And I'm just like making sure everything is alright because sometimes it acts funny. You know what? If there's an error, we'll deal with it. What happened? Mm, this is not working because delays. It needs to be a number between 1 and 0. Makes sense. We're just gonna add 1 here so that we don't have that error. So let's see our Okay, so we have client name ABC Corp, consulting stage one. You know what? We actually don't need to enter a new this thing. It's gonna work by itself. So tech small stage one. So we have like the first row right here. So consulting tech small stage one, right? So consulting tech small stage one, filing welcome. Right, right, right. So the reason that didn't work is because the timeout was 0, and as you can see here, the number must be a number between 1 and 300. So in my email, we're gonna go to draft because we're gonna draft an email. As you can see, I have no draft. Refresh, refresh, refresh. And this is gonna update to stage 2. Maybe this or this because now it's gonna look for it's probably gonna look for a new this thing. I'm not sure. So let's run it again. Let's see what we have. What? Shit. I keep running into this error. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so we're gonna do the same. We're gonna basically do the same role. You know what? Instead of doing delays, because the delays is 0, right? You know what? I'm gonna manually change this. I'm gonna manually change this to 1, 1. No, that's 3. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I actually didn't account for that when I was like, okay, now we're gonna save this. We're going to save this, and I keep leaning to my right, which is probably to your left on the screen. And I keep, all right, so let's save this. You know what? Let's just run it again, and it should work this time. Save, run once. Okay. Ah, yes. We're genius. So if we go to our onboarding, our new clients, what? Okay, 0 plus 1. As you can see now, our client here right now has just been sent an email because now the onboarding stage is stage 2, as you can see. Like the status now is welcome sent, and the resources sent is 0 plus 1. And look at our drafts. Can you see this? Yeah, I understand it. Okay, so welcome to BNB, your tech startup resources. ABC Corp. So we can change this to name. Welcome to Bottom Byte. We're excited to work with you. Welcome. Here are the resources for specifically for tech startups. There's an industry, tech, and company size small. It's not that bad. I've started using some. As you can see, this is not like the worst. Like we can come up with a better like email template for this. Let me see the draft email. Let me see this. And I'm just making sure like this is actually very good. Like if I receive this as a business, I'm not gonna be mad at it. Like onboarding, just showing me what you will be doing with my money basically. And yeah, yeah. Let me save that. And is there any other thing I should? Oh, the resources sent. So right here, um, I'm doing plus one because I'm thinking like it will do a like mathematical addition of this thing. But I know there's a way you can wait. You can actually do mathematical operations here. You can you do add? Yeah, I feel like you can do add. Oh yes, 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 you can do add. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you could do add. Variables which is pi random. Or like number can be. I need the number. Where can I get the number from? So the number will be it's probably gonna be a variable or random. Should I do not random? I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do one. Let's just say save. Because I feel like you need a variable to get this to work. You know what? I feel like you need a variable. You're gonna run it again, and it's probably gonna do the second one, which I believe is gonna do. Yeah. So let's look at the XYZ. So what did they do again, man? Resource library, email templates. So yeah, it's doing the second one right now because yeah. Let's look at the error here because this error. What do you mean duration? Ladies. What? Missing value of required parameter duration. You know what? I'm tired of this, man. I really am tired. I'm just gonna use um what's duration. I don't get it. So I don't like. I don't like errors I don't understand. Missing value of required parameter duration. But you know what? I'm gonna use like depending on the not email template lookup. The row number you are in, that is because if a new client and your row number is number 20 or number 3, that's the number of seconds I'm going to delay your email by because I'm petty. No, just because of this error. I really don't know why I'm running into it. 3 seconds, yeah, makes more sense now. Okay, so we have a new draft probably have a new draft. Yep, right here. No subject. What? Why no subject? Mm, okay, I see. The reason why is because remember here in the resource lookup where we're basically matching for service type, industry, company size, and onboarding stage. The reason why is because we probably don't have the resource like a row that matches like all four columns to this because we have software, healthcare, medium, and stage 2, right? And we have what here? Right here. We have software, healthcare, we don't have medium. So as you can see, maybe we can set this to all or we can set this to, but this is again where you start to like, maybe you don't have to, maybe the company size can be set to all or the company size can be set to small, medium. Again, very, very like minute editing that you can actually do because you can say the company size can be actually, you know what? This is actually genius. You can do all here so that when we do a lookup, instead of saying consulting finance, right? Consulting finance, and yeah, we're gonna do a resource library, new client. This is like real life what the process of doing this is because this is mostly what you're gonna be doing, building it out. And we're gonna do the drop down, which is now gonna be C5 because we now have a new option which is C5 done. New clients. So we're gonna do all so that we don't have that error again. But now we have the next one is gonna be alpha solutions, which is consulting, finance, medium, stage one. Consulting, finance. You know what? We're gonna do the same thing for you. We're gonna do the same drop down for you, which is drop down from a range, and the range is gonna be from C to C5 and done the resource library. Yep. So now the finance is now, I'm just gonna say all stage one. Okay. For convenience, I'm gonna do all right now. You know what? I'm just gonna leave some right there because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And yeah, welcome finance small. Yep, 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 yep. That's why we didn't have any subject here, and we didn't have any, you know, like text in this place because there was no linking the client industry type and the service type to like a resource link, and the resource link is gonna basically contain the email template, which will contain the. So we're gonna run it again, and this time we'll probably have this alpha solutions, and we're gonna set this. Uh, Let me drop down, starting from E2 because E1 is the heading. E2. Um, so alpha solutions is gonna be all, yeah. So consulting, finance, all stage one, right? So resource library, consulting, finance, all stage one. Yep, 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 yep. So right now I'm making sure that it matches, but if you're a business, you're probably gonna have specific particular clients that you deal with. So you don't have to actually be doing the same, because this is actually a lot of this thing, making sure that everything is all right. That's why this drop down is very, like, it comes in handy basically. And we're gonna run it again. We're gonna have like a third draft. The onboarding is going to update to stage 2 for alpha solutions right here. And yep, right here. So stage 2 now. Welcome sent. Resources. Oh, okay. Now the resources is working. Resources sent is working. I knew it. So if you have a problem with, so the resources actually works, because remember when I was trying to, remember here, like resources sent +1. So it really doesn't matter where you get this variable from. You can manually type it in, or you can actually, but you have to use like the inbuilt mic.com addition module. Yeah, the operators here. So that's actually very convenient. I have 3 drafts here. Oh, look at that. Finance. Welcome to your finance specific onboarding resources. As you can see, quite quite professional. And yeah, you can keep on doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this, but the idea remains the same. You can use large language model to automate or to come up with email template. It really doesn't matter. It's very, very flexible. It's just being creative with automation, honestly. And yeah, that's the automation. I knew there was some bumps along the I know there's some bumps along the way, but we finally got there. Is there anything I want to change? Yeah, I wanted to change the draft email because yeah, I don't like this dash. Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. So we're gonna run this again one more time. We're gonna check new client, Bright Labs, software education small. So we're doing software, no education, software education small. You know what? We're gonna do small. Yeah, there we go. Maybe you don't actually have to do like yeah, let's change this. Oh no, let's do drop down. It's from E to save. Uh, So maybe you don't have to do like a lookup for 4 rows, because that's a lot of rows, honestly. maybe you can do for onboarding stage and consulting type. And maybe industry. Like those three make sense. The company size doesn't really, I'm not really sure about it. And maybe in the company size, I'm not sure that you should do this honestly, because in the proposal or in the file resources, you can now like divide it. You can now like show different like resources for small, medium, and enterprise. So yeah, maybe the company size you can remove it from the filter, which is the resource lookup, right? You can remove the company size right here. And yeah, industry should be there. Industry should be there. Yeah, service should be there. And yeah, I'm gonna run it one more time again just because I like testing out my automations to work well. And yeah, there we go. We are gonna refresh this. And yeah, there we go. Now this looks much more better. I like the look of this. Hmm. Yep. So onboarding process, and the thing is, you can actually make this into like a different, like you can schedule a new workflow that basically does stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 2 won't be much different than this, honestly. It's gonna be basically copy and paste, and you have your automations, you have your clients, they're happy, and you don't have to, and they're none the better, none the wiser. And yeah, I'm gonna delete all this because the emails are fake. I'll send the emails, but they're not real emails. They're not actually real emails. So I delete all this. What? I'm gonna delete them. You know what? I'll delete them later, but I hope like the idea makes sense. And what's this? Welcome sequence automation. Yeah, this is basically what I was trying to ask. Yep. And onboarding client workflow. Yep. That's it for today's video, honestly. And I hope it was useful. I hope you got something out of it. Catch you in the next one.